Throughout my time here, my family has been repetitively denied. I understand Travis Bloom is an idiot. I understand that, fully understand that. He holds a good heart.
Fabricating! Fictitious! Government you ever seen!
My little brother used to run to mother and say, "Mom, BB hit me." BB was my sister. He used to say, "BB hit me." Mom would say, "Well, my lovely young man, where are the marks to prove such?" Well, my mom, show me the marks. He could not show any marks. Mother would say, "I can't tell where the marks are." True story.
And the evidence is going to show that law enforcement tampered with evidence to meet their such high burden of proof.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Everybody has.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, what if any you might be. And did the echo go away roughly 10 seconds after I started the intro because I muted my input so I couldn't hear it because I thought, hey, the intro I can figure out because it says when we end that one. So good. Thank you, Inspire. Thank you so much. How is everyone doing? We are in the middle of what they gave us a dangerous weather warning about 19 inches is what they have promised us, or as Sue calls it, Wednesday. Well, Money, I was tired of Sue always yelling at me, so I took away the songs. But today, just to do a little, I was looking at that sentencing hearing, but my energy levels are still low, and it's set to probably last another week or so. So I thought, no reason to start it up, and then I crash out again, and we are sitting here holding our PPs in our hands, ladies and gentlemen. So instead, because some people had contacted me about this, Savannah Guthrie, I believe is her name. I'm not aware of her. I don't watch a lot of American television, but of course I've seen things on the Twitch and stuff like that. So I looked a little bit into it, and one of the things was how fast the sister got accused of being the perpetrator because she had dropped the mom off that night. And then yesterday, they released a video because TMC came out at some point and said, hey, we got a ransom note. Why would you send a ransom note to TMC? So just a little suspicious sauce going on, in my opinion. And it seems like it's a high-profile case. So again, I don't run around over there on the ground. Brian Enton, who you might know, is on the ground over there. So if you want the most up-to-date, you should go and follow him on the Twitch. His Twitch is this one. He allegedly found some blood evidence that the first police officers at the scene had missed. It's Dave, in this situation, it's almost always a family member. there was some speculation because the sister and her boyfriend had bought a house, and the only thing that's also always happening in these situations is that online idiots with a YouTube channel will soon begin making all kinds of allegations because, hey, evidence? Who needs evidence? Where we go, we don't need no evidence. We just need some banana peel, an old Coke can, and then the Fusion 5000 will get us to 2.2 gigawatts. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Exactly. I'm already following him. He covering Dr. Turpey and Mo's murder. Malin, he gets a lot of good stuff. But I also saw, as soon as he began covering it, and this is why I love and I hate social media. Social media is really good. I can get to call people stupid online. Yeah, I text about Dave a lot. And I can get funny little clips that I can play in my show. But it's also just a cesspool of unverified rumors, and people have no critical thinking skill. Everyone is just, well, I saw it on the tweets, it must be real. So the first thing I saw about when people said, hey, Brian is down there, he's doing good work. Well, I hope he's not drunk this time. Okay. Yeah, well, I bet he has something to do with it. It's funny how he always gets those big cases. All because he goes there when a case pops off. This is what's wrong with social media and the easy access to having an opinion on social media. Oh, you want to limit us? No, I just want you to think. In Denmark, we have a saying when you call 911 that you should think, then you should dial, and then you should talk. Because first of all, do I need to call 911? In Denmark, we have an emergency number and we have a police number. So if you call 112, you get, okay, there's a car accident. People has been struck. We need ambulances. We need police. Everything is bad. The car's on fire. Everything. That's 112. Then you have someone broke into my house. That's 114. 114 is the number where, okay, you can come. There's no immediate need right now. And that's why they say think, dial, talk. So, to just say, do I really need to be saying this right now? And a lot of people use that for social media as well, saying, before you go on social media, think, dial, and then talk. I'll have to come back for this later time for real court, not social media court. Oh, Dave is getting testy today. Ours is 000 for everything. Yeah, but that was because the 112 got overwhelmed with people who are just, well, I have a cough and I want a doctor. Well, you don't need a doctor. You have a cough. Shut up. And that's why they said 112 is emergency. 114 is if you need help. You probably have kidnapping insurance, and that's weird video last night. I have no words. Well, I don't know. How do you make a good video in this situation? That's another thing. Well, they looked weird. How did you look the last time your mother was abducted? My mother hasn't been abducted. No. The last video you gave when a family member was missing. Maybe we have this inbuilt thing in us that, oh, they have to say this, look this way, or do this. They were sitting on a couch in their home. They didn't sit in a studio with floodlights and everything. They might be sus. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. But I just know that all of this, well, they didn't they didn't smile the right way, or they smiled too much, or they didn't cry on the right time. I say this all the time when we're watching trials, when people say, oh, he didn't cry. I don't cry. It took me 4 months to cry after my dad died. Because I'm not a crier. And if this had happened in my family, I would be in solving problem mode. I would be angry, I would be determined, I would have no other feelings than anger if this was me in this situation. I go into, you saw me in problem solving mode light the other day when my program crapped out. I don't go in there and I'll get angry. I get really angry. I get really testy. Don't come at me when I am in problem solving mode. So what is the right way of making a please don't hurt our grandma or don't hurt our mom mode? That's another thing. Everyone knows exactly how you should act in such a situation, but none of you have tried it. It's so easy to just take things and say, well, this is a proof of, when in reality it's proof of nothing. It could be a proof of guilt, could be a proof of, I don't know what. They repeated a cult chant. I don't know what cult chant they repeated. I didn't cry for a year after my son died at 27. Don't judge by acts or looks. No, that's it. You cannot judge the way a person shows grief. Yeah. And again, we're going to watch it, and you can have, again, I'm not here to tell you what's right. I'm just here to tell you what is out there. And to ask you to maybe, just maybe, go into it with an open heart and say, this looks sus, this doesn't look sus. Having a police department with an 11% rating that didn't see the blood spatter on the floor outside of the front door. Maybe the cops are not the best either. Maybe they missed some clues. There's a lot of things that we can wonder about, but it doesn't. None of us know what happened. One in chat if you kidnapped Savannah Guthrie's mom. Terrible what happened to Samantha's mother. I hope they find her, but it doesn't look good. Has everyone asked for a ransom or anything? I haven't followed the case. We'll get into that, Jessica. So, yeah. Seems strange she would be the target of a kidnapping. They would have to know enough to get away with it. Again, I don't even know Savannah Guthrie. I don't know if this lady was loaded. I don't know if Savannah is loaded. I don't know if her sister is loaded. I just know that when people said this is a kidnapping, the first thought I had is, who would kidnap anyone in 2026? You will not get away with a kidnapping in 2026. Well, we want Bitcoin. You will not get away with a kidnapping in 2026. You will be found. If you have a drop-off somewhere, there will be a drone that you cannot hear. It's not like in olden times where you would have a helicopter with a light on. No, you'll have a drone with infrared surveillance that you can't hear tracking you. You will have electronic trackers in anything that's turned over to you. And I know everyone says, well, Bitcoin is 100% untraceable. I bet you it's not. I bet you it's not. Savannah is a wealthy woman. Let's get a look at it, and then we can see what... This is from the BBC, and I know it's a British site, but BBC, especially... not BBC, but Daily Mail, actually, not Daily... One of the British sites during the Johnny Depp case seems to have a little more focus on the factual, a little less on the emotional parts of cases. That's why I'm going to use this article. I know there's a lot out there that I could have used, but I find this being quite balanced and kind of just going through the motions of what there's out there right now. So first we are ready to talk video. We're going to see that in the end. Investigators in Arizona has not yet identified a person of interest in the suspected abduction of NBC News anchor Savannah Guthrie's mother. In the days since 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie disappeared in the middle of the night from her home in Tucson, authorities had said that they are investigating an alleged ransom note and believe she was taken against her will. So apparently there is a random if this is to be believed. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos has issued a plea for the public to help investigators and said they were working around the clock. U.S. President Donald Trump also ordered all federal law enforcement to help get her mother home safely. And the first thing I saw after Trump had gone out and said we are allocating as much resources is, as I always talk about, sadly, American politics have made you hate each other because you vote on a donkey or an elephant. The first thing I saw was, well, he shouldn't help her. She was nasty to him in a presidential debate. And the other person said she shouldn't accept help from him because he's an asshole. No. You should say, oh, the feds are coming. Thank you so much. He called her. They had a talk. I don't think they're going to be on Christmas cards with each other. But you can be human. No matter how you like or dislike a person. Why should he deny her anything? Well, he just does it because she's famous. Yeah. If you didn't know this, famous and rich people get a lot of benefits that the rest of us doesn't get. But it was just such emblematic of the political discord that sadly is filling America right now that, oh, F her or F him, instead of saying, okay, at least the feds are getting into it now because Pima County has an 11% rating for their police. Might not be a bad thing the feds are there. And then you can say, well, the feds would be there anyway when there's a ransom note. So it's just an empty gesture, but at least it is a gesture. So for once, maybe keep politics out of this. I'm just saying, what do I know? And thank you, J7, for 5 gifted memberships. Gifted to S388TEE4. I don't know what that is. Kesha, Beastie Girl, and who got the last one? That went to Clay's Anatomy. Thank you so much, J7, for 5 new members of the Muffin Club Tub. Thank you so much. My mom's name is Nancy. I hope I can keep it together. My grandmother's name was Nancy. Nancy Henriette. Wendy's boys. Thank you for some common sense. Well, I think we have gone too far into this hate of each other because, again, the politicians don't care about you. Why do you care about them? So start to be good to each other. And it's not an American problem. It's a Western world problem where in Denmark, we have the red team and the blue team. And if you're playing for one or the other, you hate the other side. And it's just dumb because none of these politicians would give you their shirt off their back they'll just tell you that, well, I have exactly what you need to vote for to fix this problem. Please give me my paycheck. This family is so distraught over their mom's kidnapping, probably lacking sleep or food. It's heartbreaking. Yes, it is. It's, yeah. Today's show host Savannah Guthrie, along with her two siblings, issued an emotional plea for their mother to be released, noting her poor health and that she's without her medication. As I understood it, the time they have figured it out, because that's when her pacemaker disconnects from her Apple Watch. So this lady is in a very poor condition as well. So why would you also kidnap someone of that advanced age and bad health? That, to me, it just seems weird. Sorry I'm saying this. Everyone is looking for your mommy, she said. Everywhere, we will not rest. Your children will not rest until we're together again. Here is what we know. When did she go missing? Guthrie was last seen at her home in Catalina Foothills, an affluent neighborhood roughly 6 miles northeast of Tucson, on Saturday evening when family members dropped her off around 9:30 local time. Alarm grew on Sunday morning when members of her church noticed she was missing and notified her family. After the family called 911, authorities began to search that soon included volunteers and federal officers from Border Patrol, which stretched into the next morning. Homicide detectives also arrived at Nancy's home, an unusual move according to Nanos. Once inside, he said law enforcement had encountered a scene that was cause for grave concern, but Nanos has not elaborated on what they found. On Monday, Nanos labeled the home a crime scene. When asked whether authorities were still looking for Guthrie alive, Nanos replied, "We hope we are." Officials has warned that she may be in dire health without her medication. She has been described as not good physical health, but has no reported cognitive issues, Nanos said. In the video message, Savannah Guthrie and her siblings said her health, her heart is fragile, she lives in constant pain. She's without any medication, she needs it to survive. She needs it to not suffer. Authorities followed up leads, blood at the home, and a ransom note. While there was no initial indication that Nancy Guthrie could have been targeted because of her name, the sheriff has said we cannot dismiss that. On Tuesday, Nanos told reporters, "We do believe that Nancy was taken from her home against her will, and that's where we're at." When asked about reports that police were testing blood found in the home, he answered, "I'm not saying there's blood inside that house or outside that house," which to me is a weird thing to say because, again, if you go to Brian Enton's twit, News Nation has pictures of this from the house. What clearly looks like blood spatter outside of the house. So that's kind of weird that he's saying there's no signs of blood anywhere, because to me that looked like signs of blood. He also said evidence gathered at the home had been sent for analysis. So far, the lab results and other evidence had not led authorities to a possible suspect. The sheriff could not say whether more than one person had been involved in the alleged abduction. In an earlier post on the Pima County Sheriff's Facebook account, the department said it was aware of reports circulating about possible ransom notes without offering specifics. Nanos also said the sheriff's office had received a copy of a ransom note that was working with the FBI to authenticate it. President Trump has called the case very unusual situation. In her emotional plea, Savannah Guthrie said her and her family were aware of the ransom note as well. She addressed the potential abductor and abductors directly. "We are ready to talk," she said, adding that "we need to know without a doubt that she's alive and you have her. Please reach out to us." Authorities has urged the public to call the sheriff's office with any information, vowing to look into all leads and discouraging the spread of misinformation. In the social media post on Wednesday, the sheriff's office said the sharing of unverified accusation or false information is irresponsible and does not assist the investigation. and she pulls out of the Olympics. That's not that important to me, at least. But this is the video. You get the ads as well.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us.
Jesus, that's loud. I'm sorry, Marissa. I just fed it through, but at least you could hear it this time. But that's the fact so far, that no one really knows what happens. When I first saw it, I don't know how it is in Denmark. We have a lot of people of that age that wanders off because of dementia and cognitive decline, if that's what we should call it. So I don't know. That was just the first thing I thought about, that maybe that was what had happened. But then I saw those what looked like blood spatters in the Brian Entin video and thought, no, that seems kind of weird. And also that she had a very she wouldn't have gone far if she had wandered off. And they have searched the area, so I think it's weird what we have heard so much so far. And again, I don't understand who would kidnap a person in 2026. That's the thing I don't get, because there's no way you're gonna get away with the ransom. It's that's what I don't get. People don't wander off and rip out their security cameras, though. Well, I didn't read anything about security cameras being yanked out in all of this. She was physically impaired, not mentally. Yeah, I read that in the article as well. But the first thought I thought when I heard this was, because this happens especially at winter in Denmark, I have this idea, kind of like, with elephants going to their final rest, they will leave the herd, and then it's kind of the same thing I think happens to a lot of old people. They're just, no, it's the end anyway. Let's just get away from here, not be a burden. And that's the first thing I thought. And then we came up with all of this. And the first thing I saw was, the daughter had been arrested. Her and her husband was arrested because they had a $650,000 home that they had bought, which I thought, for that area, wouldn't a $650,000 home, that would be like a shed or something like that. And that was debunked very fast, that no, they hadn't been arrested. And that's the problem with all of us who live off of covering true crime, is better to be first than to be right. And sadly, nothing is really out there yet, other than TMC had something about TMC had been sent a ransom letter. But why would you send it to TMC? That's I don't get that. Grant, I will give you Greenland. You know that. Danny says, it doesn't make sense to carry an 84-year-old out for ransom. No, that's, especially these days. The Nest security cameras was taken, not destroyed. Okay. I'm not calling an old lady an elephant. I said old people wander off just like elephants do in the wild. Marissa, I think my reputation is you sitting online and said, did you hear he called old women elephants? No, I said old people, men and women. Actually, in Denmark, I think it's mostly old men they go out and look for. This woman couldn't move without a walker. She didn't wander off into the footage. No. I said in the beginning. In the beginning, when I heard this, I thought, well, it's just a demented lady who has walked off, because it happens a lot in Denmark. And then we got to it and got some of the facts, and it didn't make sense. I fear she's no longer with you. Holly Mac, let's hope so much. That's not it. Why take her if you're just going to unalive her? Why not just do it at her house? That's another thing. And again, there was something about 2 months ago, someone else has spotted someone going around in that area looking in through windows. But again, 2 months. Is it the same person? Did he find out there's a lot of vulnerable people there? Or is it someone completely different? There's a lot of, as we say in Denmark, that you're running with rumors, which means that you're just chucking everything out there, not waiting for the truth to catch up with you. Spicy Italian Mama. You are a man of integrity, and that's why I watch you. Thank you, Spicy. Well, I just think that one of the biggest problem I have found in no matter what we cover is people want the sensation. People will make the big, yes, I did see the YouTube videos with Guthrie's sister has been arrested. And they will not walk it back. Or if they walk it back, they will just claim that, hey, I heard that actually she's still a suspect, but they are letting her out because they want to, find out where she hit the body or something like that. It's, we're going a little bit too far. A random letter was sent to TMZ and a local TV station. Lady Autumn Sky, yeah, I saw that as well. And why would you send it? To me, that seems more like someone who is trying to jump on a case. Again, and if you want money in Bitcoin, which is probably the safest way to get money these days, I'm still pretty sure they have found a way to track it. But still, if you say, hey, send me $250,000 in Bitcoin, how are you to verify any of that? It seems like, because people will also become assholes in this and think, it'll be fun if I send this letter. Not thinking about that family that now has a little bit of hope. Oh, if we just scramble up $250,000, we can get mom home. I would pay $250,000 for my mom if I could get her. Well, I can't get her back because she's been passed away for quite a long time now. It's actually, this year it'll be 10 years since my mom passed away. But I would still pay $250,000 if I could get a year more with my mom. Fix all the problems we had. So people just using this to try and, it's a joke. Hey, Elaine Piesi. Explore all avenues. Yeah, you should do that. She can barely move. Her pacemaker linked to her iPhone, left at the home, on medication, left at the home, and while well off is not a CEO wealthy. So odd. Yeah, but again, do people believe that her daughter has money? Because it could be they found out, oh, she's Savannah Guthrie's mom. I saw her on television. She must be wealthy. Probably not the best thing to bet on when they just, was it 1,000 people who got fired in one of the Bezos newspapers, because there's not that much money in media anymore. Nancy was very well loved in her Tucson community. I'm sure she was. I'm sure that's why the church reacted when she wasn't there the next day. I'd like to know what medicine she was on that was so critical. Becky, I've seen nothing about it, but if she has heart problems, she's probably on quite some medicine that's necessary. If she has a pacemaker, I would suspect that she is. And again, she's 80 years old. Father time is unbeaten. You will be, if you get to be that old, you will be in severe, well, not severe, but you will have medical problems. That sheriff is way over his head. Yeah, Marissa found this. This police scorecard. Why are you showing up? You should be away. Oh, Tucson has a 42%. Sorry, I had them at 11. I'm lying. They get 42% is their score. So not the greatest, but it seems like a lot of shitty police in Arizona. Not a lot above 50%, and not a lot over 50%. So yeah. I mean, it's cartel territory, so it's also the other likely situation. But again, why would the cartel take her? What would they do with her? Look at their accountability. Where do I see the accountability? Here it is. What it is. Police budget cost per person. That's worse. Misconduct settlements, fines and forfeiture. Oh, police accountability. Oh, that's the 11%. Misconduct complaints upheld. Excessive force complaints upheld. Oh, they're getting shit on that one. Discrimination complaints upheld. They are the worst you can be. Criminal misconduct complaint upheld. All of those are in the lower percentile. 11% police accountability. That's and racial disparity in deadly force, 30%. That's it's not the best police department out there by the numbers. I'm not accusing anyone. I don't know this family at all. That's just my thought, and I write policies that have this coverage every single day. What policy? What did you say, side-eye? Whip, whip, whip. Where did that go? Insurance was my first thought, and someone close to them is desperate and knows it will pay. The first one we look at is always family. That's how it is. The Corinne Richards case. Money trouble, made a big old life insurance for her husband. So yeah, that could be. That could be. Again, we haven't heard anything about it, but it's a possibility. I don't know, the whole thing sound off to me. Why is an 84-year-old woman living alone when she has limited mobility? Why wasn't a live-in nurse or sitter? Savannah has money. Lady Autumn Sky, my dad lived in this house before me. My dad was 78 years old. He had 50% lung capacity and 25% heart capacity. And he would have been very, very angry if I had told him, I think you should get assisted living. Because he could handle himself and he was wildly independent. He would not have accepted that. Maybe it was that situation. Maybe they have asked her for the last 20 years, said, Mom, since dad is gone, maybe you would be better if we got you into an assisted living facility. And she said, I will fight you. We don't know that. You sent the whole video. Uh, 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 uh. Oh, this is where people say, oh, her sister smiles before she starts to talk, so she's guilty.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever. She has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief. We are always going to be merely human, just normal human people who need our mom. Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen. Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
We love you, Mom. We love you.
I'm sorry. I just don't see all of that you people see in it. I don't see any weird ritualistic chantings. It sounded to me like people who are religious, who wanted to convey a hopeful message to their mom. I am Danish People Church. We are the least religious people in the world, probably. Atheists will think, oh my God, they don't believe in anything, because we are very private about it. You would never, ever really have us talk about God will do this, God will do that, because that's just not how Danish people react to anything. But I know a lot of Americans have a way more personal and intimate relationship with their Lord. And to me, I think it's more creepy when your politicians talks about how they are with God's help and stuff like that, because I know politicians. I don't find that weird. And you have two people in the worst situation who are not media trained and one person who is media trained. And the two people who are not media trained come off stiff and awkward. But again, as the professional body language experts you are, what was the right way they should have acted? Should they have cried more, cried less, talked more, talked less? How the hell are we to determine how we would have acted in this situation? Because we haven't been in this situation. I would probably, if it was me, turn the camera around so you got a wild field of view. Maybe get someone to help us with it so we could focus on that, because they seem very, very upset, which is totally normal. I think people are very judgmental in cases like this, because you know exactly how you would react. We don't know how these people are in real life. Is that guy always wearing his hat because he have that weird big indentation on his head? Would I have had a hat on if I was doing this? Absolutely not, because you just don't have that. But again, were they running around all day, heard about the note, and then Savannah said, hey, let's make a video, let's write this down and let's talk and get it out there. And they said, yeah, let's do it. So they didn't go in and say, okay, let's get the makeup on, let's everyone go through the motions. I can't judge people on clip in time. Why do they need permissions from the FBI? To do what? I don't believe they'll find her alive. The note is an attempt to profit from an unfortunate situation. Peace Geek, I'm leaning your way. I think it's a bogus note that someone sent just to take advantage of a situation. If you have men who wear hats at the dinner table, we were raised differently. You don't wear a hat with me at the dinner table ever. I don't wear a hat at the dinner table. I was in the Navy, in the Army, where we have one rule that you never wear a hat below deck. And I'm wearing a hat right now, sponsored by the wonderful J7. So again, what's right? What's wrong? What do you do? This is why I always say, because 35 body language channels will give you a rundown tonight saying, well, did you notice the sister was sitting like this in the beginning? She was clearly smirking. She knew something was up. Or she was doing that odd thing people do when you are on camera. Should I smile? That's why I never smile in pictures, because I find it highly fake to smile. You always look kind of like you are having a constipated bowel movement. So again, I will not judge you on a snapshot in your worst hour, because body language will always be a carny trick that people will try and sell dumb people inside via all the channels who will promise you they can read a person are bullshit and you should unsubscribe, but people want it because they want magic to be real. It's kind of like calling Miss Chloe. She can't tell your future, because if she could tell your future, she would just have told herself what the lottery numbers would be next week, and she never had to work on a 1-800 line. So please beware when you come and tell me, well, I was watching Dr. Bloomfield, and he told us that the way the guy was sitting is a clear indication of guilt. This man has no indication. Body language is real, but you will have to have a baseline of the person you are reading, which would mean you would have to observe them for a very, very long time. If body language wasn't real, if this instant body language was real, one guy would win every poker game because there's microtells all over it. And they are never the people who play poker, funny enough. I think the brother was holding his feeling, and maybe they wanted the softer approach to send the people that have took poor Nancy and didn't want the brother to maybe have a different tone. It could also be, hey, we are the daughters, let us speak, and then you just come in and say, yeah, we love you, mama. I watched the behavior panel because they say repeatedly, this is just our interpretation, do not take it as fact. And that's what you should do when you watch people who tell you they can read a person's behavior just by looking at a videotape. It's bullshit. It's just like I saw some people demand or claim that if you took a lie detector test, you are never lying. Lie detectors are not admissible in court unless some very, very, very specific facts has arisen. Most courts will never, ever admit a lie detector test because lie detectors can be fooled by just doing your Kegels. That'll throw a lie detector test off. That's why it's bunk science. Body language is real, but you have to know exactly how this person reacts. This is why when you are in a relationship, you can tell by me walking in the house, okay, today I'm going to not ask him to take out the trash. I'm going to give him some room because I can tell the way he is today because I have observed him over a longer period. People who will watch this video and tell you the way she was doing this in the beginning is indication that she knows where the mom is. Because, yes, I saw that statement on the twits. People like that, you should say, nope, unfollow, because that is not true. That's why I'm saying we are lacking a lot of critical thinking in these days of social media, where you will just jump to the conclusion that kind of fits into your echo chamber. So far, we have no hard evidence in this case. I have a lot of questions about the local police because apparently they just went away and opened the crime scene up, and then they came back and said, oh, we better take another look. Why? This reminds me of Canton. That's a problem I have with this. With all due respect, Baker, it's not 100%. We are saying the same thing. Never mind. What I was going to say is, as infants, we learn body language way before we learn any language. Yes, because we observe our mom constantly. This is how you learn how to have emotions. You read your mom's face constantly. That's why it's so imperative that moms, when they breastfeed, when they nestle their kid, they look at them when they talk, because that is where they learn how do I emote. But still, it's a continuous process where you have to observe someone. You can't just do that thing where you look at a surveillance camera and someone is walking and you can tell, well, this guy was at Taco Bell yesterday. That's why he has his funny walk. The pain in Savannah's face is so palpable, my heart aches for them. Yeah, she seems very distraught about this, and I would be too. The brother could have been terrified to be on camera, not to mention the situation that was going on. It may have been everything for him to sit there on camera and give his support with his presence. We don't know these people. None of us know these people. We all think that, well, in this situation, I would have done this, that, or the other. But truth be told, we just don't know how we would react to this. And maybe we shouldn't judge people we don't know like this. Do I think this is an abduction? No. Blaze Anatomy. The brother, he's an F-16 fighting Falcon pilot, but he's fearless. He's probably pissed and in protective mode. If I am to now take my crisis mode skills into consideration of this, yeah, I think you're right, because when my mom passed away, my dad called me and said, I can't handle this. I said, okay, what do you want? He said, I'm going to take care of the funeral. You do the rest. And I said, okay. And I was the one who contacted everyone in the family. Well, no, I asked my sister to contact my brother, because me and my brother, we don't gel very well on an emotional level, because he gets very emotional and I will get very unemotional. But my dad said, fix this. And I fixed it. I didn't break down. I couldn't break down. I was in problem-solving mode. I was at his side all the time. Anything he needed, any phone calls he needed, any shopping he needed, anything he needed, I did. I didn't cry till we were in the church, and I started crying because my daughter started crying. And then I got angry because I asked my ex-wife, I have 2 daughters, they were sitting on either side of me, and I asked her, could you please sit on the family bench with us so you can take one of them and I can take the other one? And she said, no, because I'm not part of the family. So I got angry that day. So I didn't cry that much that day. And I never really cried over losing my mom. When my dad passed away, I was holding him in my arms. The first thing I did, I stood up and what the hell? And a young kid came up and said, can I do something for you? He said, do you have a cigarette? And he bought me a pack of cigarettes and a lighter. Thank you so much. I don't even know who that guy was. And the first thing I thought is, oh, now I have to do it all again. And I had to call everyone again and say, we lost another parent. Okay, I'll figure out the funeral. I'll figure out what clothes to put him in the casket. I'll figure out, there was some mementos my daughters wanted him to have in the casket. Figure out if that was okay. We could do that. I go into the same mode. I will be quiet. I'll be very quiet. That's my problem-solving mode. I will come off as the most pissed off individual, but that's how I go. When I go quiet, it's because I'm trying to fix things and not let any other emotion take over, because I can't spare any energy for all of that. So I can't judge people on how they react. My brother will get very emotional. He will scream at God. We are all different. We don't know how this person acts. That's the thing. My husband died. It was on the news, and every crazy and psychic started calling me and my family members. Yeah, that's yeah. Polly Pocket, unemotional doesn't mean you don't care deeply. As a respiratory therapist, you can cry or be emotional until you're out of the situation. Yeah, it's just however we go. that's what I do. But there is a crisis going on. I go straight into how can I fix it? How can I help mode? I don't show a whole lot of emotion until it's over. No, then we have time to break down when it's over. The day before New Year's Eve, because my brother had sent me a text and said, hey, we talked about it. The house is all 4 kids' inheritance. But the other one of them said, hey, you want to keep it, you can stay in it. And it's just your house. And that made me break. That's what made me break finally, that my siblings gave me a house. So, yeah. Yes, I'm a disassociate and internalize my emotions in traumatic situations. Yeah, Alfie, I think that's why we shouldn't judge people based on our emotional level, because I will find people who cry too much very suspect. I don't, because I'm not emotional. So to me, people who are overly loving or overly emotional, to me, they'll seem fake. But that's because I'm not. So, yeah. I don't think it matters what you think of Savannah. It's horrible a lady is missing, whether you like her daughter or not. Yeah, if I haven't watched chat because I was going back and thinking about my parents, so I just had to keep it together. Whatever you think about her politics, her job, her whatever, what does this have to do with anything in this situation? An 84-year-old lady is missing. What does it have to do with anything? If that's what you see in this case is, well, fuck her, he's a political hack, or, well, she should get special treatment because she's a hero. That's an 84-year-old woman missing. Funny things that we log into in cases like this. Polymax says, my siblings figured because I was clergy, it would be easy for me. It was horrible of me. Yeah, because normally you do it with someone else and you can disassociate. All of a sudden, it's your heart that's in it. And you can't do that. Okay, I'm just stepping into a room now. I go into automatic mode in emergencies. My brain goes blank for a second. Then it's action time. Yeah, that's the same with me. Boosh. This has nothing to do with anything. I don't know why it's important for you to sit and talk about her being a pathological liar. Would it have been okay if her grandma was, or her mom was left in the middle of the room, cut up, multiple times raped because her daughter is a liar? It's a fucking weird thing to harbor on today. A woman is missing, most likely with her condition, dead. And the big problem is, well, her daughter lies on TV. I like working with people these days.
The media is doing their best with this. They're doing their best. I mean, the most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute break and both sides take a pregnant pause and think about the jury.
Casey Chrissy, my sister has been missing for 29 years. I can say you don't know how you're gonna react. Just don't think it's good to judge or make assumptions from a 3-minute video. I'm so sorry to hear that, Casey. We never know how we will react in a crisis. We all think we're gonna be Rambo if shit goes down. Most of us will probably just run away because it's just fight and flight. You will either go into problem-solving mode or you will go into I can't do anything mode. What's important in this case is not how someone reports the news. It's not how someone's face was 2 seconds before video started. The most important thing right now is an 84-year-old lady is missing. And that is what we should be talking about. This poor old lady who's missing. Remember when we covered that poor little kid? They still haven't found the body of where the stepdad pled guilty, where the mom claimed he had been abducted outside of a store. We didn't sit here and say, well, the mom was kind of a cunt. 6-month-old baby missing. It doesn't matter. It's weird that people want to take that approach to it. It's just weird to me. Maybe I'm just not. Sometimes I think I might have some, I don't know if you can call it like social autism, that I can't read people. I'm very bad at reading people. And I can't read people's reason to do things they do. And I get, when I sit and read Twit and people are just sitting there talking about, well, they looked weird. They didn't do right. No, I know it's never your approach, Boost. Every time you run your mouth and you get into trouble in chat, it's always us who's wrong. I know, we are always misreading what you're stating. Savannah isn't the one telling you what happened. The police was the one. Savannah just made an emotional plea to hear from her mother. No, don't let him get to you today. Baker, you're trying to be a better man. You're trying not to get angry. We have 300 people sitting here. Calmale. But this is sadly after 4 days all the facts we have. She's not there. The police have declared it a crime scene. There might be a presser hold today by the local police if they have anything new in the case. The only thing we know so far is allegedly two news organizations have received a ransom letter. In a case like this, not to be a Debbie Downer, but an 84-year-old woman with heart problems and without her medication. Sadly, I don't think the likelihood is high that she is survived. Yeah. Yeah. Nitpicker, I'm not going to talk about that now. That's for nighttime shows. Jacqueline, I am trying to go down there. But what is it you say? After the first 24 hours, the likelihood of finding someone is alive diminishes severely. So let's hope. And again, we are not a God-praying people in Denmark. We don't invoke him for stuff like that. But if you are, that I think this lady would need his help at this point. It's a 6-6 thing. It reminds me of when we covered the Bradley Yawn case, a man who reveled in the torment he did to a, how old was he? 76-year-old lady. And he kept talking about her in court, wanting to see the pictures of how he had molested her. Because if that's the motive in this has anything to do with sexual desire or anything, that's a sick person that should be called like the Mer people has been called by the CIA. MLS, I don't know why you want to go into that. I don't give a fuck about Savannah Guthrie. I don't know her. I don't know why you want to bring it up that it's because of her. Yeah, of course it is. Rich people, famous people get more notice than you and I do. Not a new thing. Not a big surprise that's happening. But it's still an 84-year-old lady missing. And we're going to sit here and talk about how horrible her daughter's politics are. I can't with people today. I'm too sick and I'm too tired to sit and try and just try and figure out why the fuck people needed to be like this. What's wrong with you? Why is it that this has to be the thing? Well, I want to stuff politics into everything. If this is your standout, oh, I don't like this person, fuck her mother. No, that's not what I'm saying. Then shut up and chat about it. What does Savannah Guthrie has to do with anything? Well, she's famous. I don't give a fuck. An 84-year-old lady might be missing. Most likely dead. Yeah, let's talk about her daughter and her shitty reporting. I can't with people. Why the fuck is this constantly going on? Eat a Snickers. Yeah, I'll probably eat 2 after this. I just can't. I can't understand why this is so important for people to keep yammering on about that. Is that really the most important part of this case? Is it really the most important that you don't like her daughter's job? I'm sorry, I just don't get people. And maybe you just want to troll. That's fine. But kind of get the drift. Some people think that her daughter's politics have something to do with this happened to her mother. Well, some people also think that her sister did it because her mouth was a little crooked when she started. Do you have any proof that this has anything to do with it? Or is it just someone who said, well, she was nasty to Trump in a 2020 political debate? Why do you have to go out there and start rumors about nothing proven? It could also be someone who is a sick, degenerate fuck who found an old lady that couldn't defend herself, broke into her house, killed her, and took the body away. What's the likelihood of that being the most obvious thing that happened? No, let's make it about the daughter living in New York that most people don't know this is her mother. Because a stalker who wants to hurt the daughter would take a trip to Arizona and kill her mother. Some people think it has to do with the Clintons. Why? What would it have to do with the Clintons? This is why I say maybe take your brain with you on Twitter and sit there and say, what would it have to do with the Clintons? Well, the Clintons are in the Epstein's files. You know Grant has a show right now, probably, where you can go and watch all of these harebrained things. There's an 84-year-old lady missing, and you want to go and talk about the Clintons? I'm sorry, Lolita, but why? Why is it important to try and make up all of these excuses for why the woman is missing? You have no proof. No proof of anything. There was a higher likelihood that there was the daughter they talked about for a monetary reason. In kidnapping cases or murder cases or missing person cases, you always look at the family first. Why the hell would they seek out an 84-year-old woman who would most likely pass away within a short time to send a signal to the Clintons or send a signal to Savannah? It would probably have been a better signal to unalive her cat. Let's all just make our own. I think it was Sasquatch. J7 thinks it was the pyramids. Marissa thinks it was the mer people. I did this stream to try and say, let's just look at what is out there right now and try and debunk some of those stories. And what are we ending up with? 45,000 people who will tell us, well, did you know it was a full moon the day she disappeared? We all know what that means. No? Well, she had an opal in her house. You know what opals are, stones of. Australia? Well, I talked to my medium this morning and they said Centauri 5 was sending signals. So I think we know what happened. No, we don't know shit. We know an 84-year-old lady is missing. The police did a shitty job to begin with. Then they came back after the press started looking at it. They allegedly didn't see the blood spatter right outside the front door. Brian Entin did when he was there filming it. But let's make it about the Clintons. Let's make it about Sasquatch. Won't we pray for those impacted and authorities working to find out what happened are successful? Again, not a religious person, but I read your super chat. Thank you so much. Die. And if you are the praying kind, just out of sheer humanity, maybe send a nice thought to an 84-year-old lady who is not at home. Most likely not alive if we have to go by any standards. So let's not sit here and waste our time talking about the fucking Clintons. Who cares about the Clintons? Why is it so... I love you Americans. You're wonderful people. I love hanging out with Dave when he's in Denmark. I love being in Tennessee, talking to people. But oh my fucking God, the internet was a mistake for you. Misnomer, don't you start with that one. Truth and transparency. If she's covering it, I'm not going to say anything because she's just going to sue me like everyone else. Betsy Weingartner, 30 years ago, my brother was unalived. Everything changes. You are investigated. Nothing is normal. Please give this family some grace. I'm signing off. This hits too close to home. Betsy, take care of your mental health. Money, do you have Bigfoots in Denmark? No, we do not. God, don't hate our country. And J7, yes, you go to the expert if you want to talk Clintons. That's, yeah. Truth and transparency, digs deep. You have to give her that. She brings receipts. That's why she gets sued a lot and loses her court cases. Because she makes a lot of allegations also. It's an age-old thing that tragedy happens to famous people and it's national news because they are well known everywhere. Yeah, why gets mad about them getting attention? Courtney, good thing. By receipts, I mean court documents. There's no court documents in this case. So if she has talked about anything in this case, she's guessing just as much as I am. And she's also very well known for losing a lot of lawsuits that she puts on because she claims she has receipts she doesn't have. And so I would take anything with her, with me, with anyone else talking on the interwebs with a grain of salt, and maybe say, I have to go check it out for myself, because we only give you what backs our version of the truth. We don't give you all the stuff that doesn't back our version of the truth. Empire, lots of people go missing. We don't hear about all of them. What does it matter? They are all still missing. Doesn't make it more right or more wrong that this one is getting attention. This one is getting attention. That's why I cover it. Just like I covered the little boy down in California, because it made the news. And a lot of people do go missing. Some do it voluntarily. Some fall off the planet because they get into a bad environment, and other peoples are killed. But that's just the sad reality, especially when you live in a big country like America, where people really can disappear. In Denmark, you can't really disappear because we're only 6 million people. But there's a lot of room to disappear in America. But again, this is an 84-year-old woman. Her home looks like it hasn't been left voluntarily. So I'm just saying it's different. You just have vampires in Denmark. No, those are in Transylvania. Ironic, some chatters say she only gets this coverage because her daughter is a celebrity. Sadly, how many trials of high-profile cases have we watched? Well, we cover what's out there. And this is what's out there right now. It's there's a lot of people covering that mom who unalived her 3 kids and jumped out the window as well. She's not that famous. There's a lot of people saying she did it because she's an absolute horrible piece of crap. Other people say she was on a cocktail of medication. It was an accident waiting to happen. I don't really like covering cases with kids that young, so that's why I haven't looked into it. But that's also a case that's out there getting a lot of attention. Because kind of like with the kid who unalived 5 people and pled guilty to it, they're trying to blame it on his acne medication. And I'm thinking, is it a real accusation against the medication, or is it just become the thing, instead of the insanity defense, we now use, well, they were on medication? I don't know. Yeah. So, yeah. I just came in and I thought people were coming up with conspiracies. Sorry if I read the room wrong. Misnomer, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Scotland has unicorns. Yeah, Scotland is a horrible place filled with orcs to keep the Vikings out. Detectives keep things close to the vest in order to not jeopardize the case. To be honest, with what I saw in the initial reports, I don't think these detectives kept a lot to under the vest. I actually, to be honest, with what I have read, if Savannah hadn't been a famous person, they would have closed this case already. They didn't do a good job on covering this. That's if I read the first reports out there correctly, because they were in, they were out, and then they came back and did a big search of the place. So one of the things that I also do on this stupid little channel is try and shine a light on bad police work, because we see it so much in so many cases. We see justice isn't justice in America anymore. There's so many things where you just have to, whenever you start covering cases, it's horrible. I don't know. Do any of you, did you cover that UCLA gyno who had sexual abuse convictions? He got, I think he worked with the Olympic team. And in another, what the hell moment, I read this article that the appeals court has overturned his sex abuse conviction. Why? Well, a 3-justice panel from California's 2nd District Court of Appeal ruled James Heaps was denied a fair trial because the judge did not share with his defense counsel a note by the court's foreman pointing out concerns that one juror lacked sufficient English to carry out their duty. That's why Lady Justice is blind on my arm. She should treat either side equally. This guy got convicted, and then one of the juries, no habla español, no habla inglés. It's no, you're not going to get angry. Let that person be an idiot. Don't get into it. Be better, Baker. Be better, Baker. Idiots do what idiots do. No, so this person was informed that, hey, when we're deliberating, we have a juror that doesn't seem to understand what the hell is going on. And he didn't say, well, hey, maybe we should tell the defense that this isn't good. Let's get someone else in there who understands English. And why didn't they pick it up when they picked up the jury? They have to fill out questionnaires and they have to answer questions. And they still pick this guy. I can't remember how many cases this, how was it? 9 women has alleged in 2 lawsuits they were sexually assaulted by the gynecologist who works for the university. These women will now most likely have to go through another trial because, well, fuck it. We'll just close our eyes and, he'll get convicted. This is why justice should be blind. No matter what side you're on, you should treat both sides equally. And Holly Max says, I'm gobsmacked at some of the accusations and judgment in chat today. So sad to see. Be better. Well, people have the right to have the opinions they want, even in my chat. And yeah, we'll namaste later. The pubes are missing in that cold case. That's crazy. Yeah, evidence disappear in the Aaron Spencer case. While transporting evidence from one police institution to another police institution, evidence just disappeared. Whoopsie. That's why I think even though I'm just a charlatan yelling at people in chat, it's important we have us online communicators as well, because we point the fingers at some very stupid things that make you aware that maybe things aren't the way I thought they were. Okay, that's just it. And I still believe that in my mind, and this is my truth, and I'll leave you with my truth about the missing pubes. There's some creepy Poindexter-looking type of guy who steals pubes and makes a little hair doll that he has in his refectory that he can smell. Marissa says, "You're weird," and I say, "That's my truth." You have all had your truth about this case today. My truth about the missing pubes in the cold case is this Poindexter-looking guy is sitting in his wingback chair, sniffing that while he is taking care of something. Yes, I think I'll leave you with that one, just to try and keep the mood a little high. And if anything new comes up in this case, we'll cover it. And if it shows up that it was actually a conspiracy between the mermaids, the pyramids, and Alpha Centauri, egg on my face. Have a wonderful day. And thank you for watching. Do all the things.
I'm Jimmy. How y'all doing?
I know English is your second language, but you don't word
It's
your
my
questions
third,
carefully.
but I'm still better at it than you. You are.
The most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute break and both sides take a pregnant pause and think about the jury.
Oh, Miss Noma, you didn't do anything wrong.